Tom Aspinall explains why he has a hard time calling Francis Ngannou the best heavyweight in MMA. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, Tom said, "I have a lot of respect for Francis. I have a lot of respect for him, and I really appreciate his story. I really appreciate what he's done in the sport, but it's hard to debate right now. The guy he's fighting, he's not elite. Do you know what I mean? And the guys he'll be fighting in the future aren't elite. It's as simple as that. These guys aren't the best guys in the world. The guy he's fighting fought a friend of mine and a training partner of mine, Ante Dillia, 2 years ago, and Ante just destroyed him within a minute or two. Took him down, ground and pounded him, and stopped him within the first minute. And now the guy's fighting Francis Ngannou. So the guy isn't elite. His opponent, yeah, he's big. Yeah, he's powerful. Yeah, he could knock you out. But he's not an elite heavyweight. I'm not disrespecting him. The elite guys are not in the PFL. The elite guys are in the UFC. It's difficult to say that Francis Ngannou is the best heavyweight in the world when he isn't fighting the elite guys right now." Recently, former UFC heavyweight Shane Carwin revealed that he has been struggling with CTE symptoms. Shane submitted a letter of support for the current antitrust lawsuit against the UFC. He stated that he spends days in bed, suffering from bouts of paranoia, fear, and anxiety. Shane was once an engineer and says that he is now unable to hold down a simple job due to the brain trauma. Brendan Schaub was a friend and training partner of Shane Carwin and was brought to tears over this on his podcast.
Shane recently came out, Carwin, who was, like a brother to me, and Shane's struggling, man. That's my main training partner. Bring up what Shane said. Despite having a degree in engineering from Colorado School of Mines, I've been unable to maintain adequate focus to hold down my engineering job. I face serious challenging, meaning basic.
Yeah.
Former world champ. I face serious challenges in meeting basic everyday expenses for food, shelter. How do you not just go, I get it, dude, boom, 10, 15 mil, your troubles. Can we be human for a second? Could you just be a human being for a second and go, here, dude, here, man, we know. You don't have to do it publicly. Just as from human to human, man. This guy put his life on the line. I've seen it, dude. I was with him every step of the way from day one. He's such a good person. How can you not just go, here you go, don't worry about it? That's pennies to these guys.
Dana White is pissed off once again with the UFC rankings, and now Khalil Roundtree is still ranked 8th at light heavyweight.
All right, here we go. I know it's reversed. Can't see it on here, but the moron strike again. Khalil Roundtree fights that bad fight against Pereira, and the morons rank him number 8. Keep him at number 8. Literally this week, I have a meeting to try to fix the rankings and get all these know-nothing, do-nothing motherfuckers out of it. So hopefully this week I get this fixed. Have a great day, everybody.
Mike Perry was arrested and charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, according to Lake County Sheriff's Office online records. Perry was arrested on October 12th at 1:04 a.m. by the Claremont Police Department in Claremont, Florida. He was booked into jail at 4:36 a.m. and released roughly 5 hours later at 9:41 a.m. after posting a bond totaling $1,500. Perry is due in court at 8 a.m. on October 30th. Khalil Roundtree discusses what's next for him. He says that he'd like to fight anybody that will set him up for another title fight. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Khalil said, "I've spoken personally with Dana White and Hunter Campbell, and I feel like I got a steak dinner already because they were entertained. I think for me as a partner with the UFC, it's one of my biggest goals to make sure the guys at the top are pleased with what they see. After speaking with them and them being excited about my performance, they're definitely pleased. That felt like a treat in itself. As far as what's next on the fight end, I think there would be a little bit more room for me to say what I want, but that vision right now is not so clear. I think right now any name in the top 5 or within title contention to me makes sense. There's not one name specifically, there's not one person who I'm emotionally attached to or a fight I think I deserve next, but I would like to continue to fight people within the top 5 so I can get another shot at the title. It seems like the majority of guys are booked or injured, but while I'm healing up here, there will be a good number of matchups to happen, and I would love anybody that sets me up for another title fight." Khalil also gave his reaction to Jamal Hill yawning after his fight against Alex Pereira. He continued, "I saw it after the fact online. It's nice to hear the clarification because based off the crowd response and everything I've seen and other articles that post that I've seen, the majority of people seem to think it was an entertaining fight. So I was a bit confused to see why he thought maybe it was boring or worth a yawn. But like I said, the clarification definitely helps. Not everyone is going to think the same. Not everyone is going to be entertained." Jan Blachowicz accidentally kicks his coach in the nuts while hitting pads. Sean O'Malley discusses a possible rematch against Merab. He says now that he lost to Merab, beating him in a rematch will feel so much better.
I'm fighting Merab versus Sugar 2. It's happening. I'm manifesting it. I don't give a about anything else. I don't know what's going on with Umar and Merab. Umar saying he'll fight. He wants to fight this year. Merab saying he doesn't want to fight this year. So
that's
I'm
weird
just trying
that
to
changed
insert myself.
though. He said he would rematch you in November, but then as soon as that wasn't, he said he.
I'm here for it. Don't rematch and wait. I mean, don't fight him. Wait for me. I'm gonna be ready March. Let's get it. Let's run it back. Manifesting it, putting it out there. That's happening. Sugar versus Merab 2. Oh, I love it. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be beating him the first time would have been sweet. Would have been crazy. The rocket ship would have been good. But losing supposedly a close fight supposedly. That was, I mean, it was a close fight. They said I'm asshole. But it's gonna just feel that much better. It's gonna be that much
It
better.
always seems impossible until it's done.
Rewatching the fight, I stuffed 9 of his 15. 60% of his shots I stuffed. So it wasn't like it was I couldn't figure out what to do. He got me down a couple times that he was able to lay on me, and but I know I can wrestle better than that. I fought this dude with one hip. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna really do what I know I'm capable of doing. I know I could beat him 100%. I'm very confident in that, and I'm gonna do it March 2025.
UFC flyweight Amanda Ribas grapples with a bodybuilder and slams him on his face.
Mortal Kombat. Olha! Vai!
Deixa eu arrumar meu cabelo.
Ô, Julião, dá sorriso. Ah, tem Super Bonder aqui.
Sério?
Nossa. Aí, pegou no seu olho, Julião.
Ah, pegou meu. Não, vem cá. Quer mexer?
Charles Oliveira gave his take on Tony Ferguson and how Tony does not want to retire despite being on an 8-fight losing streak. Tony recently had this to say on Demetrius Johnson's YouTube channel.
You gonna fight again?
Yeah, I only put half a glove in there and I got it back, so that just tells me I got both pairs of gloves. So we're gonna probably take the rest of this season and figure some things out, and we're coming back hard either January or February. So stay tuned.
You're not retired full like DJ?
No, I'm not retiring. I'm too old to retire. I'm 40 years old, I'm halfway to 80. I've been competing since I was 5 years old in multiple sports. And you know what? It's not like I don't know anything else. I do. I'm still able to compete. When somebody can run a sprint faster than me, then maybe I'll start to consider it. But what it really needs is to find that coaching and that discipline around other people and being uncomfortable in practice, so that way you're not miserable in the fight. I approached a couple different coaches. Faraz Zahabi is one of the coaches I always admired because he was GSP's coach, and GSP was always my target. My next approach actually was to follow him on Instagram and then go and send him a message.
When can we expect you back in? No date in mind right now?
Well, like I said, I'm not in any rush for anything. Coaching my son's football league, and the way I'm moving is pretty good, man. So it's, instead of getting excited and jumping at anything I want, I make the phone call to Dana and I tell them, look, I'm looking for a fight, and then they give me one.
Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Oliveira said he deserves all the respect in the world just to be fighting still. He deserves a standing ovation for everything he's done in the UFC, but I think the UFC should also give him some help and put him against someone around his age so they can put on a show and we applaud them. The guy doesn't want to retire. He's there. So why not get someone with the same vibe to put on a big fight? That would be great, but to put these young kids coming in hungry for attention over a big name like him, that's a bit complicated. It sucks. The guy has a certain age, and you put him against young kids to fight him. That hurts him a little bit. Donald Cerrone reveals that he will be returning to the UFC for 2 more fights. Despite being on TRT for the past 2 years, Cowboy says he will come off, pass the drug test, and fight in a few months. He posted this to his Instagram today. He wrote, "I'm chasing greatness 50 UFC fights. Not only do I want to win, I want to finish, I want a bonus. Most wins in UFC history, most finishes, most bonuses, most walks to that cage."
I want to go back and get 2 more fights. When I retired, I told you I was getting my hair done and get on steroids. For number 50, Been sitting on my mind for a while. So I've been working with Transcend the last 2 years, taking TRT, a bunch of peptides. Now we got a protocol for all you people who are like, oh, what if you get on it, you can't ever come off? Well, I now have to come off and piss clean. Fight in a few months. So watch this.
God.
Now that Tony Ferguson has announced that he's officially not retiring, many fans are calling for the rematch between him and Cowboy. Tony and Cowboy fought back in June of 2019, and Tony won via TKO by Dr. Stoppage. This was Tony's last win before he went on the 8-fight losing streak. Who do you guys got in the potential rematch? Post your opinions in the comments. So a few days ago, we reported on Conor McGregor running into Dustin Poirier. Here's the clip if you missed it.
Conor, somewhere to go. You see how Dustin went the other way? You see how Dustin walked the other way? He's right behind me. No way. Walk on this side right there. He's right there.
Dustin made an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show today and says they almost had a big problem. Dustin said, so I was walking over to their booth to meet some people, and Conor was behind me apparently. My agent was walking behind me, and he grabs me. So Conor might have saw the back of my head. I don't know, I didn't see him. But he grabs my shoulders, talking about his agent, and says, hey, go this way to the right. So we start walking to the right. I'm like, the booth is right here. We start walking to the right, and once we get clear of everybody, he's like, dude, we almost had a big problem. That's what that was. Ariel asked Dustin, what do you think would have happened if you saw each other? Dustin replied, I don't know, bro. We just have such a long history. He said some foul things. You ever watch Family Guy? When Peter and the chicken run into each other? That's what would have happened. Ariel says, you think so? You think you guys would have fought? Dustin replied, yeah, for sure. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Ravenger803. Says that knee against Askren gave Masvidal his moment like the Hawk Tua girl, and like her, he's still milking it. The second one's from the Reality Filter. Says if John Jones and Dana White walk into a room, Dana walks out pregnant. And the final one says the only thing Conor could smash today is another kilo. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.